Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Sunday Service Podcast. I am your host, Sister Stephanie.
I'm your host, Sister Sally.
And today we have Sister
Carey or Caroline, whichever one.
Go either way.
I'm calling you Carey. I like nicknames.
Yeah, Carey is what I know her as. She is one of my very best friends from Minneapolis, Minnesota. She's visiting me in Miami for the first time. She's actually never been here before at
You
all.
haven't? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to ask you that when I walked in, but I'm happy I'm just finding that out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she what? So you just graduated school. That's why this is like her little vacay.
Period.
Yeah, it's my treat to myself for
When was that?
2 years. August.
Oh, okay.
So it's been a minute, but
yeah, when we were talking about it before, I thought that might have been like in the spring. So this is very recent.
Yeah.
So this is your like celebratory trip. You deserve it.
Get out of
And you graduated with a degree in
marriage and family therapy.
Period.
So that's why we have her on today. Is just someone who brings a different perspective from maybe some, like, I feel like when you are, I don't know, you can chime in on this, but when you're almost trained in that type of field, it's obviously you view emotions and things that we talk about on this podcast a lot differently than everybody else probably, you know, because it's like almost like a neutral
Basically,
standpoint.
Everyone needs a friend like Carey.
Yeah, everybody. I actually think at one point I asked her, I was like, is it like legal to like have your friend be your therapist? Like, and she was like, yeah, I can't. Like,
it's a
no.
no.
Oh, you can't.
It's free. It's free and
It's free.
I'm like, I want like my one-on-one sessions and I need to figure my life out.
No,
like,
you get that for free. Like, what's better than that?
It's true.
What's
sit
better
on a
than
couch
having
with
a friend like you?
Yeah.
Yeah, with a glass of wine.
Yeah, some weed,
Oh my God,
just
I love
get
that.
into it.
Yeah, if I didn't have nowhere to be today, I think we would really be here for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
So we gotta handle
fun.
what's
Yeah, we
gotta
gotta
be handled in this time.
I know.
Unfortunately, that means you have to come back though.
Yeah,
We're
you're gonna
already
have-
planning for her to come back because we know this is gonna be motherfucking good.
Literally.
Like it was
pressure.
too good before we even started filming. I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
I actually mentioned to you when we were like sitting out there that I took a psychology of marriage and family and psychology
Oh,
of.
you did? Oh, wait, yeah, you did tell me that. Okay.
I was a psych major when I was in college, and I went to community college, and I always had like a weird time with school because now looking back, like I wish I prioritized it more as like I'm learning something, you know, and like that's dope to be able to like go somewhere and learn something and then go home. But like I didn't view it that way growing up, and even when I was
school
in,
is not for everyone.
yeah,
No, definitely not for
but
everyone.
now looking
Not
back,
a
like I
fan.
feel like if I were to go and finish, like I feel like I just have a completely different attitude about it now that I would like, because I absorbed it when I was interested in it, like that class I was interested
Totally.
in, and that's like the only thing that I like really took from my experience was like those classes because I was so interested in it, and it just like I learned a lot, and it made me like think, and I told you like I cried during those classes. It was like they were moving, and now if I went and did that, I just feel like I would love to do what you do. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think taking time in between undergrad and going to grad school was the moment of just evaluating if I wanted to go. I mean, I think school is a system that, you know.
Yeah, that's another
I
story.
have, it's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But for me personally, love learning in school. And
Wow.
so I think it was necessary to have that fulfillment and come back with, like you're
How much
saying,
time
a
did
totally
you
different
have from-
mindset. 7 years. I was,
See?
22 to 29.
Yeah, a lot
So,
changes in you. And
Totally.
you're like,
Evaluating
I'm gonna
life,
get this shit
traveling,
done.
trying to actually understand the world
Right.
rather than just going right
into
through
it.
school. And yeah, having younger people in our, program was totally different perspectives and
crazy,
super
right?
interesting to have dynamics in grad school as you're learning about relationships.
Yeah.
To like try to navigate all of the things that different
Because like, do you guys
perspectives.
like work together a lot when you're in
Yeah.
school? Okay,
Yeah.
so you're working with people that are younger.
Yeah.
And like,
have gone right through.
I bet that's super interesting.
Well, now when I'm thinking back, when I was in those classes, I went to community college. There was people of all ages in those classes. And like, I remember having, you know, people like my parents' age in my class. And that must have been, you know, something that they recognized during that time, like how different and I, you know, I did recognize it then too. Like, you know, this must be different for them, hitting different from them in their own way. But wow, you know, like now I know even for myself, I would be like a completely different person absorbing that information than I was then.
Yep.
Wow.
So it was good timing, very much so. And just, knew that was gonna have to happen.
How many years was that?
2 years.
Wow.
So
you learned a lot in 2 years.
It felt like 5.
Yeah. But I feel like in the
grand scheme, you look back, you're like, that was only 2 years of my life. Like,
and it
now
went pretty
it's all
fast.
out of the way.
Yeah.
And
I got this.
Onward.
I can't believe you're already done with it. Like, I feel like you've been like nonstop for so long. Yeah.
Just another grind.
But that's amazing.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it feels great, and it feels amazing to be in Miami. And
it's 11/11 too.
It is 11/11.
We were so excited about that. I mean, I'm so excited about it now. I'm gonna be like just buzzing the rest of the day. But like, what a dope day to do this, and like, it's gorgeous out.
It's so beautiful out today. I can't wait. We're gonna go to the beach after this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like we might as well like get into it. When I was talking with Carey before she flew here, we were like kind of asking like, you know, what would be something that would be fun for you to talk about or interesting for you to talk about, something that you like to talk about. And it's kind of a common theme we have on this podcast. But just like letting go of control, surrendering.
Yeah, I think it just ebbs and flows in my life of noticing when it's time to be a little more unattached to an outcome or a knowing. And constantly, I think we
like surrendering
have cycles
to whatever is gonna be.
Whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's related to just ending school or the season coming into more winter time, which again, Minnesota is a very different.
It's already cold there, right?
Cycle of winter.
Like New York. Yes. I'm used to that.
Really
it's like already snowing there, right?
Yeah, we've had some snow.
Oh my God.
Not sticking as far.
Yeah, so you're just in a very different season of life right now, and that feels like the theme.
Yeah, I think there's, again, okay, so I'll break out how I view, and I'll like talk to clients about this, because marriage and family therapy, I think, can have a stigma, or it's a label that we all maybe have different views on those specific titles, marriage, family. Like, we all come from such different experiences in that. So I'll break it out to clients around just being more, it's a systemic look at our relationships. It's really understanding like the connectedness. I'm totally tangential to what we were talking about, but it is just a way that is a bigger picture thinking.
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to scope out and zoom out and it's like a system that we're navigating, family, school, like
relationships,
culture, being in Miami, like different, environments that we grow up in. And so you kind of analyze and look at someone's life from that scope.
Yeah.
And I try to be like, I have my own feelings about marriage or what family is or, but I'm not trying to like, I don't think everyone should get married or there's this belief that I'm holding. It's more like, I want you to understand where I come from when I'm talking to you, to be like, okay, this is who you are collectively as a whole.
Like,
and it's all those different experiences that you go through that I'm analyzing or wanting to hear more about. I don't want to say analyze, but
yeah. So like the people
degree,
that see you, like see that in themselves and like recognize like themselves more and then start to like work on things and heal things.
Yeah, maybe like if I understand what you're saying, I try to break it out to a client in the first session of like, this is what, my role is in this is like looking at, messages or I'm losing my thought. But
dreams?
What?
Dreams?
Dreams?
Yeah.
Like someone's dreams?
Yeah.
Yeah. I personally am fascinated by that. I don't know if...
Well, I'm saying like you want someone to like look at like messages and like things that are happening in their life to like reflect on themselves.
So like, yeah, you were saying like your role when you're with a client is to zoom out and like look at all the different aspects that they're telling you.
Yeah,
right.
Well, and it's just going to depend on what they're
and
coming
then you can
like see me for.
Everyone's different, so you have to do that to like be able and put all of your like viewpoints aside.
Yes.
And just look at it from their lens, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like try to figure out what they're seeing and like
what their life is, what they want, what they are wanting out of, relationships or their life. But I have my own mission or goal in therapy would be like I want everyone to be their most authentic, loving, wholesome self. Yeah. So what is holding you back from that? And that's like my hope is by seeing people through that process, they're like uncovering all those layers of why they're not necessarily who they want to be or feel aligned with. And they, we all, have our struggles in ways that need to kind of let go of, or the narratives or messages. I guess if we're coming back to what you wanted me to bring in, or what I've been thinking about personally, the surrendering or letting go or non-attachment, if we want to like kind of blend that with what I do with clients, it's ultimately we try to let go of all of those constraints that we feel, or detach from some of the things that we believe about ourselves, or people have told us, or some narrative that we're holding in our minds that isn't the whole truth. Or
do you feel like that's like one of the biggest things when you're with like your clients and just with people in general, that it causes like a lot of these issues why people seek therapy is detachment issues? Like
okay. On some level, yes. I think we're holding on to thoughts, beliefs,
it's crazy,
attitudes that are not something that we necessarily chose, or we haven't thought about enough to be like, that doesn't even resonate with, who I am, or, I think our struggles and mental health comes from all these pressures and narratives and beliefs and thoughts and constant consumerism to
Crazy.
Be things that we can pivot from, or but it takes it
takes work.
Like the art of detachment is literally like a superpower. Like learning how to detach from things, because we are connected to nothing in this life. Like as much as we want to think that we are, like, as much as we're connected to our soulmates and our pets and our things, like we die alone. Like we are connected to nothing. Like we all will go our separate ways and, hopefully rejoice again in heaven.
You know what's crazy? Sorry, but
give it to me.
Our first guest with Brittany Berger. We talked about surrendering.
That was like the theme of my life.
Word. That was our word.
The theme of life, I think, for all of us always.
A word or for that purpose of the whatever, and we all three of us chose surrendering or surrender. And like I was like, that it just came to my mind with this conversation. I was like, that's crazy that we would have another person come on here and make that like the main theme of like what our goal in life needs to be.
It's complicated because you're surrendering and letting go. Detachment, I guess surrendering and detachment feel different to me. And they're both a choice, or you kind of need to do both, and they happen at the same time. But
I guess you have to surrender to detachment.
It's like already happened. Like surrendering is
Can you like describe surrender? Like what?
it's just kind of like just letting it be and going with whatever the going with the flow of life.
With detachment then? So
because I think you need to surrender to detach from something. So I'm surrendering to the control that I thought that I had. Like we have no control of any outcome of anything in life. So you need to surrender,
and then you're able to like let go.
To that idea of, you know, I have no control over this. Like this is how
ultimately
life works.
our grasping and trying to hold tight to something is ultimately
restricting.
It's not allowing for
that's
what's
just
meant
life.
to.
Things are coming and going always.
Yeah.
Life is coming and going. People are coming and going. Like memories, like things, you know, our childhood is gone. Like, you know, that's just in the past now, and it'll never be again. And we're just it just keeps, the world keeps on spinning. So
I think I'm like thinking about it while you guys are talking about it, because I'm really trying to understand this, because we've talked about it before, but I'm like, oh, you know, like that makes more sense to me now, because I used to have extreme anxiety when I was like going through different periods of my life. But I think the reason I'm able to not have as much and control it a little more now is because I'm able to like surrender to certain things and like
you definitely have changed
let
in that
it
way.
pass a little bit.
Kind of just trust that like it's gonna work out in your
like
favor.
just time, like just trust in the time and like surrender to that, and like know that I feel like this now, but I'm not gonna feel like this later. And like
that's everything.
Well,
for example, like I can relate to just like the idea of detachment and like actually applying it to like my everyday life for a period of time. Like something that I had to really learn and like be okay with was when I moved here, and when I like had to say goodbye to like my old life and like what I thought my life was going to be and what it was for so long, and the people I was around and my identity of who I was back home, you know, and like come to a new place and just like surrender to like whatever is going to happen here is going to happen. I hope and I trust that it's going to be good, and it's going to be good for me, and whatever it is I will learn from, and like that's that, you know. And detaching from clothes and items and things, like it felt good. It felt like I was like shedding.
It's like
and,
a cleansing of like your old life.
For sure.
I like think somebody was just talking to me about this, and they were like, because it was so easy for me when I moved
to get rid of shit.
Like it felt so fucking good. Even my house, like that I had to sell. Like I was like, period. Like goodbye. You know, like I just was like so ready to shed all of that old life of like the trauma that I went through. And I brought this up. I kept a sweatshirt, a hoodie. I still have it. I actually just looked at it this morning. And I think I need to get rid of it because I think that is the one last thing.
11,
but I kept it. Here's why I kept it though. Okay. It's an off-white hoodie, and it was like from a like exclusive collection. And it's like a dope ass hoodie. Like, and it was like, if you got it retail, it was like $500, but now like whatever. But, and it's just such a good, whatever. I don't care. Anyways, she loves that hoodie. But like I was thinking about it because every time I wear it, I feel like there's like definitely some energy to it that's like a little more dark.
You gotta burn that motherfucker.
So like I'm like thinking about it because I'm like my mood and like where I'm at and like all those things when I've worn that hoodie. Number one, I only wear it when it's cold, and it's never cold here in Miami. So like, and I never wear it inside the house. So like, why am I even holding on to it? Just to like wear it back in Minneapolis or when I go to New York or like whatever.
It's a good style.
And then I'm like, I bet you that's like
material.
Because like somebody was telling me, it was probably Brittany Berger. You should meet her. You guys would get along great. But saying like you have to get rid of those things to like cleanse the energy, like and get, you know, just like welcome new things in.
Yeah, you got to make spaciousness.
Yeah, I'm
the
like,
right
damn,
things, and that is
that's crazy.
Holding some energetic cord
years later
to our lives. Yeah,
burning that shit. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean I think you should, but that's besides
a good ritual. Yeah, I would say there's power in that too.
Yeah. especially if you feel like it's something negative, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But just like getting rid of like even items can be such a hard thing for people to do sometimes, and like detach
They
from
all
like
have stories. Or
yeah, right. Like, you know, some people are
memories.
fucking hoarders, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly
it's like
what it is. Yeah.
It's a real thing to try and master, because it will benefit your life. Like, even when it comes to like loving someone or something so much, like, and I know I talk about this a lot, but like, you know, my dogs are getting older, and I know we were talking about our dogs before, and I like have to really make peace with the thought of knowing that like nothing lasts forever, you know, it's all good. Love.
Yeah, these mics are so
Heavy.
They are quite heavy.
Yeah, but just like, you know, this is the flow of life. Like, I have to surrender to that. Like, I have no control of letting them live longer. If I could find the fucking magic pill, like, please let me know. But like, other than
just
that, like, I have to of getting to experience that,
all of that through.
Yeah, like, what a fucking gift.
Yeah.
I am so lucky that I've gotten to this experience.
Yeah, I think
even if it ends in heartbreak, you know, like change and morphing into a new version of yourself is painful sometimes, but it's like
it's the
necessary.
Grasping and that energy of just trying to cling to things is the anti kind of growth, or if I'm trying to evaluate why I wanted to even talk about that, I think it's something kind of counterculture right now. Or if I think about how I am trying to do my work as a therapist, it's really what I'm curious about. Or traveling was something that I did in between, you know, grad school and undergrad. And we were talking about that. I was in Australia.
Nice.
I did India for my yoga training, and just have done these things that I get out of our Western mentality, let's say.
Did you do them alone?
India, I did alone. That was right.
How long
COVID
was that trip?
was hitting. A month.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a crazy time.
Wow. And you were alone.
Yeah,
a lot
that
happened.
was my solo.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot happened with that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you learned a lot about yourself on that trip.
Well, you had
and
just
again,
left a relationship,
from,
right?
just transitioning from different kind of, if we're talking about death and how we transition and go through life, kind of different versions of ourselves at different points, or we're all, evolving in our own sense. And that was a really shitty, hard time in my life, but I knew I needed to just do a solo trip. I wanted to.
Why India?
Why India? Yeah, I think I was just going through a spiritual awakening. I hate using that term. I think it's funny, but
valid though. Valid.
It just the cliche of it, but so that was a time where I was just really going inward and trying to understand things. And I think, India is just the yoga mecca, if you want to go down that.
Yeah.
Thinking about that. So the potency or the opportunity to do it there, and wanting to travel, and is, I really find myself being
there
more so removed. Well, when I get out of America,
it was probably a beautiful trip.
It's kind of my goals when I try to change or understand myself. It seems I've found myself traveling far away.
There's something too, like when you can like sit in your own solitude like that and be away with yourself, and somewhere where like you're learning a new place, you're learning a new culture, everything is new. Like you learn so much about yourself, but that is really hard to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And kudos. That's amazing. Yeah. It must
and it was so weird. COVID was hitting, but we weren't talking about it.
What a time.
And it was March 2019.
Wow, that was the
February
thick of
to
it.
March. Yeah, and I had to.
You got stuck there?
I literally almost did.
Wow.
Yeah, a whole other conversation.
Do you feel like it would have been a better place to be than fucking the United States of America?
I don't know, but that was so stressful.
Yeah, that was a crazy time to even like think back on that time at all, because there's something about the time before COVID and like the time BC versus like now. Yo, like,
isn't that?
I feel like I went into COVID like in my early 20s, and all of a sudden life just did like a fucking, and then now I'm fucking turning 29 in a month, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like life just went so fast after COVID. Like that whole time seems so unreal.
Well, it felt like the world was on pause at that time.
What a weird time.
Well, and now that you say the BC, and it's funny that trip kind of is the pivoting point for me on many levels.
Yeah, and I think everyone can relate to that in a sense, you know? Like that was such a pivotal time in everyone's life.
For sure. You got, well, it was like you saw like what it was, it kind of gave you a glimpse of what it was like to like lose everything.
Right.
You know? Like, and like be stuck where you're at right now.
Yeah.
And I like,
in all of
that's
it.
at least like what it did for me.
People were killing themselves. People were killing each other. Like,
I was in my fucking abusive
it was a time of reflection.
I was in my abusive relationship then, and I was, that was
so much fear.
It's crazy how different everyone's life story is. Like you were in India, you were getting out of your relationship. I thought I was getting put on 24-hour lockdown with my man. It turned into the rest of our lives together, you know, like it's just so nuts. Like we were all going through some crazy transition time in our life, and now life is completely different.
Yeah.
I'm completely different. I don't know who she was when she was 24. Like I am so different now. Yes. And it's a bug out. No, but I feel like because we were forced to do the work during that time.
I think COVID made me leave my relationship. Sure. Like I wasn't leaving it yet.
Such a telling time.
I left it when I realized what it was like to be locked in like a dark dungeon with a fucking psychopath. Like, scary. You know what I mean? Like I was like, dude, I gotta get out of here. I'm fucking gonna die. Literally, I'm gonna die in here. And the world is ending. I don't have my friends or my family. It was like so eye opening. I was like, dude, I remember praying like, God, tell me what to do to get out of this. I need to get out. Like,
and you were like,
I was like, period. I'm out. I'm packing my shit, selling my house. It's done. It's over. And then
when did you?
I went during COVID. I came down here for a month to visit my friend Jen because it was my first attempt at leaving it.
So what year was that?
That was 2020. In
2020.
Like right after COVID had hit. Like because me and him were locked down together for a while. And then
I mean, the years I get so turned around with.
So 2020 was during COVID, like when we were locked down.
Wasn't it 2019 to whatever?
Like 2020 is like when it was. Yeah. Like for sure. Like it was locked down right then. Like it was like the year turned and then it was locked down.
I was in India 2020, March.
It was
2020.
like New Year's Eve happened and it locked down. Like that's literally what happened.
I just remember things started getting weird after New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
and it was like,
literally after New Year's Eve. I can
masks?
like remember it. Like it was like yesterday.
Yeah.
And because I remember partying on New Year's Eve during this time, and it like shifted. And then
so crazy.
And that
was a Black Mirror episode, guys. I mean, life is still a Black Mirror episode. Pause for 1 second. I just saw this video on TikTok of like this new AI thing that is going to be available or is available now for us that sits on your fucking chest and basically does everything that your phone does, but it's like an extension of us. And I'm just like, wow, like we are fully like Black Mirror was just to desensitize us to what life is going to turn into. Like we know kind of like what's going to happen, and shit's getting more weird and more crazy by the day. And you know, I don't even know where to go. I don't know what to do with myself anymore. You know, that's why we gotta make sure we got this
mind
right.
The mind is strong.
Yeah, because times are tough and life is so different after COVID. Like everything, like technology, like everything is different. Life was so different 2 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it seems so almost 4. It's almost 4. Because I just saw a memory from 4 years ago, and it was like on like Snapchat or something like that. I was
like a little girl then. Now it's crazy.
Yeah, warp speed.
Mm-hmm. That's what it really feels like.
Thank God from that point though. Like I'm okay. We can slow down now, but I speed it up from that point. Like shit was a nightmare.
It must be nice. Like you must feel like you really accomplished something like with school and stuff, like post COVID and this time, like such a metamorphosis, you know, like that's awesome.
Yeah, that's.
I think about going back to school.
Yeah. Or a good recap of how I mean, school.
You said you also got out of a relationship that changed a lot in you, right?
I mean, we were together for a long time.
How long?
And someone that I've known my whole life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We both know him my whole life.
Wow,
so,
really?
I mean,
He actually was one of my first boyfriends in elementary school.
Yeah, I mean, we go back so far.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
He was
It's
your...
fun.
Like in like the fourth grade.
I'm so dead.
He loved Sally. I mean, like, I can remember their relationship.
In third grade.
It was like our childhood like fake relationship. Yeah. And then fast forward, they became partners and like we were all friends.
So how long would you say you guys were like dating together for?
6 years.
Wow,
and
yeah.
We had, again, India was kind of like a break, reevaluate, reflect on ourselves, came back together for COVID. And then again,
you guys got like locked down together when you came back?
Yeah, we weren't together when I left, and then he really helped me kind of the stress of it. He was, talking to my family. We were all just really worried I wasn't going to get back, and we had been we had still remained in contact for that year. So,
but when you came home,
I came home, we kind of just came back together, and it felt right, and we felt like we had done our personal growth, and that it would be a different, relationship. Yeah, I mean, it definitely had a different energy. I had different perspectives. Like we grew.
Where did he go? Did he go somewhere too?
No. He was. We were all. I mean, it was just a year apart, but that
time.
month was kind of the turning point of coming back together.
Gotcha.
And so when I came back and it was COVID, we basically, of course, everyone locked down with their people. So,
that time for a lot of relationships was either like the make it or break it. Like if you could stand the person that you're with and not kill each other and not, go crazy, then it said a lot about your relationship. I know in my experience, like I said, I thought I was going to I packed an overnight bag.
Right.
Packed a pair of panties, some socks, and a little bit of mascara or whatever. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, like I have no clothes. I have to wear your clothes. I'm stuck here. Yeah. I can't even go back home if I wanted to. Right. I can't cross the bridge. The bridge is closed. What's going on? Are we going to literally what's going on? It was like out of a movie. And then boom, it ended up being like the best thing for us. And we had the best time. Like that was such a good time, but such a transitional time in my life, and I mean it feels like a dream almost, it does. And here we are, like now we live in Miami together, and fucking everything about life is different.
It is. It seems like a whole nother lifetime, doesn't it?
I was I was doing this with a friend and counting how many like versions of myself I felt like I've been, and it was I can't remember. It was late,
that's
but
a
it was
lot.
like
but listen, if you weren't
18 or something, it was kind of like
if there was two versions of yourself, you'd be like, damn, I didn't know growing. I'm still the same bitch from 2015. That would be crazy. Like I hope there's 18 versions of me. You know what I mean? That says a lot. That's good.
Yeah, it's just fascinating to think about how. Yeah, that
even when I look back at pictures, sometimes I'm like, wow,
reflection time just is very important.
Yeah. It's hard to think that a lot of people don't have that skill down. Like imagine not being self-aware. Like,
oh my God, there's so many of them.
Yeah.
It scares. It's scary.
Terrifying.
It's scary.
How many people out here are not self-aware at all?
It is really fucking terrifying.
Dude.
But it's just like how have you not done that?
I won't say that they haven't. I kind of think it's impossible to not have awareness.
Some people have like too much awareness, so it gives them like anxiety, and then they don't know how to act.
It's all. I mean, it's all kind of that layer of. I think everyone is always in their head.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people aren't in their heads, but it just depends on how
they deal
in their
with
head
it.
is.
Yeah.
And if they're dealing with it, or if they're aware and just kind of getting stuck in.
Or if they're like trying to understand it. Because I feel like people like us are like, I'm such a truth seeker, and I'm always like trying to figure out like why I'm doing things a certain way. And I was even mentioning to you guys before, like, my hormones have a lot to do with that. And I really try to understand that because it's not me.
Yes.
It's my chemistry. It's not like the decisions I want to be making.
Yes.
So I have to understand that because I have to have some sort of control over it.
Right.
That's hard to fucking surrender to. Like, oh, I'm just fucked up. Like, this is just me. Like,
that's,
it's hard.
We can't, we gotta accept.
Yep.
And that's part of
and understand what's going on.
Still, and detach to be like, okay, this is something I'm holding from this relationship that they told me this, on repeat, and now I've internalized this.
Yeah, it's part of my hardwiring.
It makes you a lot
kind of that
better understanding of others too when you get to a point where you're able to do that stuff. I don't think I would be able to date someone so much younger than me if I wasn't able to do that.
Have like patience,
because like I understand
human being.
The growth period in your mind and of your emotions.
Yeah, some people don't want to do the work. Is I think where
you get stuck.
You have to be self-aware. I think you're self-aware. I just think you're choosing to
ignore it,
act out of something else, ignore it,
ignore the real like
again. I think that's
meaning.
The emotional experience.
Yes.
And if someone's not handling their emotional health, that's the people that you're like, are you actually aware of how you're acting?
It's like
you kind of go unconscious. Yeah,
it's like allowing your like triggers to control you because you don't have the emotional maturity to dissect what's actually happening and choose what you do wisely.
Yeah. Their subconscious mind is ruling their behaviors. I think about like, I don't want to put nobody on blast, but I think about my sisters and how they act sometimes and the things that they do and the men that they go for. And I'm just like, you don't see that this is a pattern. You don't see that this has a lot to do with your life and what you went through and all of the shit. Like, acknowledge it. Like, get with the fucking program so we can like stop doing the same thing and repeating the same fucking patterns all over again.
Yes.
We don't have time.
That is what I'm looking at as, in my work. There are patterns that we all have, and it's okay. And you got to empower or take some control.
Yeah. You have to be able to like reflect on your life and reflect on yourself.
Yeah.
To understand like why you do certain things. Right.
Yeah.
And how you make your life better. I think that goes for people who really like, make this understanding with themselves that they want better for themselves in life. Like you have to really want that in order to even be able to make peace with your life and understand you and why you are the way you are. Like,
me and Aiden have this conversation all the time because, it's like not normal, or like the stigma of like men's mental health is not to take that as number one priority. Like, so it's not.
They just gotta puff up their chest.
Yeah, they just gotta like be a man and like whatever. And he like the only reason this type of stuff gets brought up is because he does want, he tries to understand his emotions, why he's feeling something. You know what I mean? And it's like like making that something that people should do.
Well, I think that people are starting to do this more than ever in our history of being
that's like our
humans.
generation.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But
I think
really understanding
how powerful would the
world
world be if everyone was self-aware like that, male and female.
Yeah.
Like it's not a weakness. It's actually a strength to have that, and then also be the provider and the protector and the whatever. Like what a fucking
have that. You can
amazing combo, right? And to be able to have that with someone.
Well, look at how our government is so easily able to control the majority of the population and the way they think and what they do and what they act, what they buy, what they are interested in. Yeah. It's like because so many people don't want to do the like work on understanding.
They don't want to think for themselves. Yeah, think for yourself. Think about yourself. You're the only one that matters at the end of the day because you are the only one who I do. Like, think about yourself. Get in your own brain. Figure some shit out. Like,
again, my systemic thinking, like it's the patriarchy, it's all these different kind of stories or powers that we've given to
things.
Yeah.
Social media and
money
and
we
news
talk money.
and money. Yeah, it's fucking fucked up. That's why a lot of people are stuck in this rat race and are so disconnected to like what actually matters in life. Like a lot of people are like NPC fucking robots. Like, we need to wake up and we need to look at like,
Oh my God.
That's why AI, I believe, is so intriguing to people. Well, because I don't, maybe this is a dot that I haven't fully fleshed out.
Spit it out.
But you were just talking about whatever. Like,
that
and people are like, please, like, think for me. Like,
exactly. People don't want to think for themselves.
So, like, I want technology to, I don't know, rule my life. So I don't have to do the work. Or
you're going to be able to do anything that you want and not even have to leave your house.
Literally.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So I mean, you just want to lay there.
Artists are going to be able to create whole albums AI generated. Like they don't even have to fucking work anymore.
But the reason why they want unconscious people is because they're easier to control.
Correct.
So then it's this like power trip, where like everyone is robots and we are listening to the government and it's fucking scary. So it's like wake up now.
If we all woke up, like there would be
we could take over.
Total. I mean,
That's what I think.
What's happening.
That's what actually being woke is.
We're in a revolution.
Right.
Yeah,
if
for
we
sure.
want to look at
what's
happening right now.
Yeah.
I think
like a spiritual revolution.
Spiritual
like
warfare.
People are waking up.
Yeah.
It is.
It's for sure that.
I feel like I mentioned this to you recently, but like I tend to only even randomly entangle with myself. Like even if it's someone random on the street or if it's like meeting someone like you from an extension of my friend group or, my man's friend, the people that are in our energetic circle are all on the same fucking page. We all have the same beliefs. We all think the same thing. You know what I mean? I don't tend to get myself in those frequencies.
It comes, it does.
It comes
again when you're like aligning and letting go and
and then when you see that shit, it's like
to get into.
It's like, oh God,
to get into the spaces you're meant to be in.
It must be hard for you if you see people coming to you with that no matter what. So it's like, no wonder why you were Palo Santoing like before because it's like, I need to cleanse myself of that.
Detach
and cleanse your energy.
The energy that I sit in so much is very important to have my own.
Totally. I mean, you do it for a profession, but like even, when you're with your
having
friends.
a conversation with someone on the street or someone you meet or
anything.
Being
submerged in other energies.
Again, our bodies are a system, our like biology, our
all a separate system that you need to like understand every single one.
Yeah.
Can you recommend that book to everyone that you were just like? I feel like this really aligns with everything that we're talking about because of the topics and how it's detachment and it's being self-aware and it's acknowledging your past or whatever the fuck. Please give it to them because she told me about this book. We were sitting out there just bullshitting before and I saw that she was able to like focus on it and take notes while we were like submerged in each other and music and having a conversation and I was like that shit must be good if you're able to do that. So what's up? What's this book?
Okay,
and I need it.
It's called the Creative Act, A Way of Being, and it's again an artist on a broad scale, like famous music producer. I think he's a producer.
What's his name again?
Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard of him. I gotta see a picture.
I feel like I've heard that name.
Yeah, I gotta see a picture.
He's done a lot with a lot of big names. But
like Jordan Peterson type.
No.
That's what I was getting.
No. I think he'd be I don't follow Jordan Peterson, but
you said he's an artist, a music artist, or a music producer. So different field.
Different lane.
But as far as like,
I think he's more I would say has more spiritual leanings, perspectives, and really I think kind of what I gather from some of this book is it is a way of being, how you kind of come into following your own intuition and knowing and detaching from pressures that we feel socially, maybe. And he seems to really tune into like the senses or the connectedness that we have, if you're speaking of people come into your lives at the right time, or, you get connected and the people you surround yourself with, that's kind of you're following some kind of current that you're feeling. It's more of a feeling. I think for me and what I'm passionate about general is kind of feeling our way through life, not getting so caught up in the mind is really like our sense of feeling and what feels right. If, wearing your sweatshirt, weird feeling, you get weird kind of dark feelings.
Right.
It's more, I think, how he creates music is from this kind of feeling state. And so that comes from having to let go of a lot. I think our culture is so in the mind, and some of this, some of our knowing comes from like actually feeling. And so, yeah, from what I'm gathering, this book is just a way of being in the world by following kind of your intuition.
It has like every single
and like we're all artists essentially. We're creating our own lives. We all have creativity and connectivity to a greater something.
Totally.
Like we're all
the creative act, a way of being. Okay.
Yeah.
Is the name.
Yeah.
And every chapter is like a different, like, not theme, but, for example, awareness, detachment, whatever. There's like 400 something chapters. Yeah. And it's kind of a cool book to, you recommended this, to just open up like one day and whatever you open up to on that page, whatever chapter you open up to, like is maybe something you need to hear or need to read in that moment. And they're like 3-4 pages each chapter, and they each have like a beautiful message for you to just understand like the concept of whatever the idea is, and connect it to your own life and reflect on whatever you can connect it to in your life. And it's so dope. I think that you guys should get it, because I'm going to get it. So we can talk about that next time we get together.
For sure.
It seems very to the point, or just...
Seems like a helpful book. Like, I feel like
super.
My man could benefit from it. I feel like my sisters and my mom wants me to shout her out again. What's up, Mom? I feel like you would love this. I feel like everybody, like, it's a good Christmas gift,
Yeah.
A book that helps you do the work. So, if you are listening to this and you feel like, damn, maybe I should work on myself a little more. Maybe I can do this deep reflection that I haven't been doing. Because I think that's something that also comes with age. Like, I don't think my 22-year-old self was capable of doing the work that I did to be where I'm at and continuously grow into in my life now. Like, you gotta go through it. You gotta go through it. But it does help if you have, things to encourage that, or to open your mind up to a new way of thinking, like people like us, I think we'll have these conversations no matter what, but you went to school for this. I have experienced classes that like taught me about this stuff. Like maybe I wouldn't have known how to handle certain things or reflect on certain things if I didn't have that. So something like this book could be really helpful like in that pivot, sense.
Yeah, a pivot for someone.
Yeah, I think that like we should definitely go read this and then reflect on that next time we get together.
Yeah, let's not like get us going on that whole thing now, because we'll have a whole nother hour at least.
We could keep chatting.
And I know you have somewhere to be.
Yeah, so next time we get together, we will talk about this book, and we hope that maybe you guys are inspired.
I'm getting it. We'll definitely have something to talk about. Me and you, for sure.
I'll have to follow up on your reflections.
Maybe you gotta come back down, bitch.
I know.
But thanks for being on the podcast, sister.
What
Carey.
a time.
Yeah, love to dig in your brain.
Fun.
We could do that.
Let us know if you want to see her again, because I'll get her out to Miami ASAP.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was such a good conversation. I'm happy you came on it. It was so good.
Likewise, thank you. We love you.
Such a pleasure to
all right, guys.
Chat with the sisters.
We love you so much. Yeah, with the sisters. We love you guys so much. Have a good one. We will see you in the next episode.
Yay.